As you can see, I've relocated from the room where the Zoom setup's kind of ideal to the room where Sona and I meditate. So this is actually our shrine that we sit in front of every day. And I can't really see you because you're quite a long way away, but it doesn't matter because this morning we're going to be doing a Sesshin type practice. So it's all very good having a Zen look here. So a Sesshin is where we alternate practice and walking, or today we're going to alternate practice with daily life practice. So it might be that you know, there's things you need to do in your household in the breaks, and you just do that in the spirit of practice. Or if you can do some walking meditation, I would really recommend that as well. So the way it's going to work is that we'll do a 30-minute mindfulness of breathing, and then we'll have a 20-minute break, and then we're going to do a 30-minute metta bhavana with this emphasis of breathing in beings and breathing out love. And then we're going to have a 20-minute break, and then we're going to do a 20-minute body scan that Vimokshini is going to lead for us today. And then at the end, there's going to be an announcement about the final puja, so do stay for that at the very end. But you don't need to worry about it. You can put it down in terms of your thinking, because all will become clear at about 12:30. Okay, so very little input. The practice is going to be very lightly led. So it's an opportunity for you to play, for you to experiment with everything we've covered this week, for you to assimilate, for you to go deeper, for you to just familiarize yourself more and more and more deeply with your own mind, your own heart, your own body, the mirror, and then to open the mirror becomes the window, and to feel into our common humanity. We're going to do the mindfulness of breathing as a 4-stage mindfulness of breathing. So the normal practice that you have been taught in Triratna, and hopefully you do every alternate day, alternating mindfulness and metta, or something similar. Because I thought it'd be good for you to have a go at integrating everything we've learned into the familiar practice that you have as one of your foundation practices. So really, the principle is we're bringing this whole body, embodied breathing into the practice. And then in the first stage, we very lightly count after each breath. Second stage, very lightly count before each breath. Third stage, rest in this whole body embodied awareness. And then in the fourth stage, you can refine your awareness and maybe get very curious about the sensations at the tip of the nose, or you may prefer to be aware of the sensations in the belly. Generally, what I say is if you're feeling a bit sluggish, then coming higher in the body. If you're feeling all a bit heady, giddy, dropping deeper in the body. But I think the fourth stage, where we get more delicate, is very beautiful. And an image that I really love for that is a bumblebee gathering pollen on a flower. If you think about what a bumblebee is like, they're very light, very delicate, but very precise. You know, their little legs. Well, actually, I don't quite know how they gather pollen, but I think it's something to do with their legs. But they're not crushing the flower, and neither are they not making contact, but it's very delicate, very precise. So we can have that quality of awareness when we're in the fourth stage of the mindfulness of breathing. So I won't say anything more. As I said, it's going to be very lightly led. Really, all I do is just remind you what the stages are, and then it's up to you to experiment and explore. So we'll settle for a moment, and then Vimokshini is going to read a reading, and then we'll go into the practice.
This is called Threefold is the Rhythm of Life by Lama Anagarika Govinda. I'm going to read it twice. Taking, giving, self-forgetting. Inhaling, I take the world within me. Exhaling, I give myself to the world. Emptied, I live with myself, live without self. In voidness supreme, inhaling, I take the world within me. Exhaling, I give myself to the world. Emptied, I experience abundance. Formless, I fulfill the norm. Taking, giving, self-forgetting. Inhaling, I take the world within me. Exhaling, I give myself to the world. Emptied, I live with myself, live without self. In voidness supreme, inhaling, I take the world within me. Exhaling, I give myself to the world. Emptied, I experience abundance. Formless, I fulfill the norm.
The mindfulness of breathing. First stage, dropping the counting in very, very lightly after each breath. Checking in on the whole body. Are we still yielding up to gravity? Releasing, opening. And when we're ready, moving on to the second stage where we drop the counting in very lightly and delicately before each in-breath. Again, as we transition between the stages, using that as an opportunity to check in on the body. Is there any strain building in the body? Are you gripping or bracing against experience? And if we notice that, we turn towards it with this open, inclusive awareness. Breathe it in and breathe out. Release, softness, kindness, metta. You're looking for the sweet spot in terms of balanced effort. Not forcing and not drifting, but resting inside, breathing inside the body. And moving on to the third stage, we drop the counting and have awareness of the whole breathing body, flowing and moving through the moments with its rhythm, with its flow. And again, using the bell as an opportunity to check in with Any areas of strain or tension that might be building, we allow these into awareness. We breathe them in, we breathe out, release. Checking we're still yielding the body up to gravity. Checking alignment of the body, maybe making small adjustments to your posture. Checking the 4 diaphragms are still participating in breathing. The body is soft. When we feel ready, we can move into the 4th stage, which is where we refine our awareness. Become more aware of subtlety. Maybe where the breath first enters and leaves the body, around the nose or the lip, or maybe inside the mouth. If you're feeling a bit heady, you could drop your awareness into the belly, the rise and the fall of the belly. It's up to you. The quality of attention is like the bumblebee on the flower gathering pollen. Not forcing, not drifting, but present. We feel ready, transitioning out of this formal practice into informal practice for 20 minutes. You could do some walking meditation if that was possible in your circumstances. And if you're having to manage children who are homeschooling or anything like that, then taking your practice into those circumstances. Seeing if we can let go of preferences around, I wish I was walking, I wish I didn't have to manage homeschooling or whatever. Just bringing everything onto the path, meeting it with presence and with kindness. And if it's challenging and difficult, we meet that with presence and kindness. And we'll come back at 20 past 11 for the Metta Bhavana practice.
Yeah. I can't hear you, Vidyamala.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yep, great.
Sorry, I had my mic dimmed, as it were. So settling back into our position. Finding our seat, metaphorically. It's kind of where the body knows, yes, this is my meditation position. And when you're ready, Maitri Devi will have the reading.
This is a poem by Alice Walker. Even so. Love, if it is love, never goes away. It is embedded in us, like seams of gold in the earth, waiting for light, waiting to be struck. Love, if it is love, never goes away. It is embedded in us like seams of gold in the earth, waiting for light, waiting to be struck.
The first stage of the practice, we settle, we rest, we yield, and we invite in everything, including that which we normally resist, shut out, put away, push away. We breathe it in and we breathe out. Release, openness, love towards ourselves. This love that is always there, like seams of gold in the earth. And if it's helpful to you, you could continue to play around with Chintamani in the heart. Something much, much bigger than the small you. Loving, wise, always present. And maybe that can be expressed as the Chintamani in the heart. So being experimental, playful, present. In the first stage, loving kindness towards ourselves. And inviting a friend into our field of awareness. Breathing in their humanity, including how they suffer through contracting against experience. Just like we suffer when we contract against experience. And breathing out the wish to be free of that, to rest in wide open awareness, freedom and ease. Again, using the Chintamani in the heart as a place of resource, if you find that helpful. It's not you breathing in the suffering, it's the Chintamani, which has got infinite love, infinite strength, infinite compassion. And breathing out this well-wishing towards the friend. allowing the friend to gently fade, checking in on ourselves. Do we need to adjust our posture? Is there gripping, bracing, building in the body, the heart, the mind? There is, we turn towards that, we breathe it in and we release with kindliness on the out breath. Find balance. And when we're ready, we can move into the third stage where we invite a neutral person into our field of awareness. Let them in to our hearts fully as a fellow human being, breathing in their experience or our shared experience of being alive. We won't know their precise experience, but we breathe in empathy, knowing that they too will suffer through contracting against life in all kinds of ways. And we breathe out love, well-wishing. May they be free with the out-breath. allowing the neutral person to gently fade. And once again, let's just check in. How's the body? How's the heart? How's the mind? Or if we're completely lost, letting the bell call us back. And if we're starting to shut anything out of our own experience, spending a few moments turning towards that very gently, leaning into the resistance. Breathe it in and breathe out. Metta towards ourselves, ease towards ourselves, yielding to the support of gravity. Breathing in the whole body, the 4 diaphragms, receptive, participating in breathing. And when we're ready, we can open a field of awareness to include someone we find difficult. Seeing if we can soften the barriers of aversion that we've erected in our own minds and our own hearts. You don't have to like this person, but just seeing if we can rest in our common humanity a little bit more. This person is our kin. Prone to greed, hatred, delusion, just like we are. And with the potential to be free of those, just as we have that potential. Breathing in awareness, breathing out love, breathing in compassion, breathing out love. Moving on to the 5th stage of the practice, all 4 people, first of all, equalizing our compassion, equalizing our love, letting go of preference and bias. Always calling on the Chintamani as the refuge, as the resource. And then in our own way, expanding this out infinitely to all beings. So very gently bringing the practice to a close on our own time and having another open period of practice for 20 minutes where we can do whatever we want. We could sit and have a drink or walk, or maybe there's things in the home we need to attend to. We do that as our practice. And coming back at 10 past 12 for a body scan.
So welcome back. Welcome back. So I'm going to guide us through a 20-minute, a little bit less than 20-minute body scan to leave some time to dedicate our merits from this morning of practice, and then Arya Jaya will say a little bit about tonight at the end. So let's just take a moment to decide whether you want to do the body scan sitting or lying down. So you can do that now, really setting yourselves up in a way that supports you in this practice, that supports the body to release a little bit more, to find ease. Settling into the posture, the body, arriving. Dropping down. And I said softly to my body, I want to be your friend. My body took a long breath and replied, I have been waiting my whole life for this. And I said softly to my body, I want to be your friend. My body took a long breath and replied, I have been waiting my whole life for this. The body scan. So again, settling in and settling down, arriving in the body, in the breath. Allowing the whole body to drop down into the earth. And sensing our intrinsic connection with the earth. And the earth holding the whole body. So we can really allow ourselves to sink down, to relax into the earth. Getting a felt sense of the whole body breathing. Maybe taking a few slightly longer in and out breaths to arrive a little bit more fully here. Noticing any tension or holding just now. And releasing on the out breath, finding ease, softening. I'm going to take us through the body now, starting with the feet, the soles of the feet. So taking our awareness to the feet. The soles of the feet or the heels. In contact with the ground. Bringing kindly, curious, open awareness to what's here. And then gently guiding your awareness to the lower legs. Just noticing what's here. What's happening here in the lower legs. And if there's tension or tightness, can bring kindly, caring awareness to that. And on the out breath, soften the body. moving up into the knees, exploring what's here. And from here, gently guiding our awareness into the thighs, sensing any sensations here. Welcoming whatever is here. Moving up now into the pelvis, hip, sitting bone area. Checking whether there's any holding going on here, particularly around the sitting bones, buttocks, and releasing on the out breath, softening the legs, softening the buttocks. Whether you're sitting or lying, perhaps dropping a little bit more down into the earth. There's no need to hold anything right now. And from here, gently moving up into the lower back. And then moving along the spine. Perhaps noticing the contact with the bed or floor or the back of the seat. Or if there's no contact with anything, if you're sitting upright, just guiding your awareness inside the spine. Sensing for what it feels like. Including sensations in the middle back. Perhaps noticing the breath here, the subtle movements of the breath. The central diaphragm. Moving the front and back of the body. And the upper back, the shoulder blades. Here's an opportunity to really releasing any tension that perhaps is still there in the shoulder blades or shoulders, to release, to soften. Noticing the shoulders, what they feel like. Is there any holding happening here in the shoulders? And if there is, releasing on the out breath, letting go. Allowing the shoulders, shoulder blades to drop down into the hands, into the arms, into the earth. Noticing sensations now in the upper arms, the lower arms, bringing a curious attitude to what's here right now. And the hands, what's happening in the hands. If your hands are resting on your belly, you might notice the subtle movements of the in and out breath in your hands and the connection there with the body. And from the hands, gently bringing your awareness to the belly. Perhaps again noticing the breath here. Allowing the breath to be natural, unconstrained, free. And if there's any tension here in the belly, see whether you can soften in the belly, finding ease. From the belly moving up into the soft area below the rib cage. And then further up into the rib cage and the heart. Noticing perhaps the warm, gentle rhythm of the breath here in the heart area. Noticing also the quality of your heart. Moving up now into the throat and neck. and the head, becoming aware of the whole head, the ears, back of the head, the hair, the crown, and the face. What does your face feel like? Is there any tension or tightness, perhaps in the forehead or jaws? And if there is, the breath can help us to soften on the out breath. Breathing in, breathing out, releasing. Soft eyes, soft lips. Maybe notice what happens when the face softens. What happens to the heart and the rest of the body when the face is soft. And now broadening your awareness to include the whole body, breathing. Making contact with the whole body. Gently now bringing the practice to close. In whatever way works for you, taking a deeper breath, moving, stretching your body. Then turning towards dedicating the fruit of our practice for the benefit of all beings. The cat is helping me. May the merit gained in my acting thus go to the alleviation of the suffering of all beings, my personality throughout my existences, my possessions, and my merit in all three ways. I give up without regard to myself, for the benefit of all beings, just as the earth and other elements are serviceable in many ways to the infinite number of beings inhabiting limitless space, so may I become that which maintains all beings situated throughout space, so long as all have not attained to peace. Over to you, Arya Jaya.